For thousands of years, it's been one of the world's great mysteries. Just how were the pyramids built so deep in the Egyptian desert?
Ask Grok.
Outside Cairo, in the desert at Giza, there's a structure that has been measured, remeasured, surveyed, and studied for over 2 centuries. And it still manages to make trained engineers pause. The Great Pyramid was built roughly 4,500 years ago, using nothing but copper tools, wooden sledges, ropes, and human labor. And yet, in a handful of very specific, very measurable ways, its precision rivals what we can achieve today with lasers and satellites. Recently, people have started feeding modern AI systems like Grok the entire dataset of measurements taken from the pyramid over the decades and asking a simple question: strip away the assumptions. And what do the raw numbers actually say? The answer isn't a conspiracy. It's something more interesting. A genuine window into just how sophisticated ancient engineering really was, and a reminder that ancient doesn't mean primitive. To understand why the precision is so striking, you first have to understand the scale of what we're talking about. The Great Pyramid is built from roughly 2.3 million blocks of stone, some weighing as much as 15 tons, stacked into a structure that stood 481 feet tall, the tallest human-made structure on Earth for nearly 4,000 years. Many of the blocks are fitted so tightly that you genuinely cannot slide a piece of paper into the seam between them. Stand at the base and look up, and it doesn't read like something people built by hand. It reads more like a landform than a building. The historical account of how it was constructed is well supported and worth taking seriously, not dismissing as an oversimplified textbook answer. Around 2560 BCE, under the pharaoh Khufu, the project employed a large, organized workforce, not slaves in chains as older pop culture depictions suggested, but skilled and semi-skilled laborers working in structured crews, some of whom left behind names like Friends of Khufu painted in red ochre on blocks deep inside the structure. Archaeologists have excavated the workers' village nearby, complete with bakeries, breweries, and worker housing, along with skeletal remains showing healed fractures. Clear evidence that injured laborers were cared for and valued rather than worked to death and discarded. There are quarry marks, tool marks, and administrative papyri logging the day-to-day movement of stone and supplies. This isn't a thin cover story. It's a substantial physical cross-reference body of evidence, and it holds up well under scrutiny for explaining who built the pyramid, how the labor was organized, and roughly how long it took. Where things get genuinely more interesting is in the precision. And this is a place where the historical record and pure engineering admiration intersect, rather than conflict. The base of the Great Pyramid, a footprint over 230 meters on each side, is leveled to within about 2 centimeters across the entire structure. Picture a slab the size of several football fields where the highest and lowest points differ by less than the width of 2 fingers, achieved with copper tools, wooden squares, plumb lines, and shallow troughs of water used to establish level lines. With no lasers, no optical instruments, nothing we'd recognize as precision equipment today. For context, modern building codes for large concrete foundations often allow more tolerance than what the ancient Egyptians achieved by hand thousands of years ago. That's a genuinely remarkable, well-documented fact, and it doesn't require inventing a lost civilization to be impressive. It's a testament to extraordinarily skilled surveying using patient, repeatable technique. The alignment is just as striking. The 4 sides of the pyramid are oriented to true north, south, east, and west with an accuracy of just a few arc minutes, a fraction of a single degree. True north isn't something you can eyeball or find with a compass, since magnetic north drifts and isn't fixed to the Earth's rotational axis. To find true north without modern instruments, ancient surveyors most likely tracked the rotation of circumpolar stars around the celestial pole over the course of a night, then translated that observation into a fixed line on the ground, a technique that has been reconstructed and tested by modern archaeoastronomers, and which plausibly explains this level of accuracy without requiring any technology beyond patient observation and careful geometry. Now here's where a lot of popular pyramid content, and notably, the version of this story that circulates most widely online, starts to drift from solid ground into numerology, and it's worth being honest about that distinction. You'll often hear claims that the ratio of the pyramid's perimeter to its height equals 2 pi, or that the slope of its faces encodes the golden ratio.